transportation sector is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. As the demand for transportation increases, tackling the challenges within this sector becomes essential for achieving overall climate goals. In this interview, we will be speaking with the CEO of Spiro, Berman, a seasoned leader in the electric mobility and energy sector, who will share his insights on the future of sustainable transportation. Spiro is Africa's largest and most innovative electric vehicle company, listed in the Time 100 most influential companies this year, and a key player in the global movement towards a more sustainable, healthy and prosperous future for Africa and beyond. The first thing I'd love to hear from you really is about your approach to SDG. It's at the middle of your business, the core of your business. Why is that so important? Why is that so crucial for you?
So yeah, it's a great question. So Spiro is led by a higher purpose, which is to provide affordable clean mobility solution to as many people as possible, right? So you're bringing affordable electric mobility system to the masses. And thereby, by doing so, you are driving inclusion, an inclusive growth agenda. That's the sort of higher purpose. It's a part of our group's philosophy. We are a part of Acumen Group. And if you see Acumen Group's participation in Africa, it's transformed the livelihoods of people. So that inspires Spiro. And as a result of that, our efforts are to constantly work towards creating affordable, accessible, cleaner energy solutions for the masses.
So that's the high level. Just bring me down to the day-to-day. The people in Africa who are benefiting from Spiro's work. What actually are you giving them? What's the products? What's the service you're giving them?
Right. So Spiro is the largest EV player in Africa today. We have deployed over 20,000 electric motorbikes, which have crossed about 13 million battery swaps. So essentially, these batteries are a very fundamental part of the day-to-day bike taxi rider segment who are shipping people and products from point A to point B. And they use our battery swap infrastructure, thereby able to save a significant part of their expenses, which they would have spent on fossil fuels. As opposed to that, they're kind of saving money by riding Spiro bikes. And we have rolled out this infrastructure across 6 countries and expanding very rapidly to cross around 10 to 12 countries by the end of this year. Our goal is a long-term investment in Africa, where we are building a vertically integrated operations, right from, if you look at upstream, we are kind of building assembly plants and manufacturing facilities all the way to the downstream energy infrastructure, thereby creating the entire value chain. And I think the long-term view is to create a very, very holistic EV ecosystem where you're bringing suppliers along the value chain as well to make it really a solid long-term story for us and for African citizens.
And deliberate, you've gone for battery swaps rather than a recharging system.
So battery swapping was the sort of starting point. In fact, if you look at us, we are probably the only player globally which is now offering all types of charging solutions to customers. Battery swap is at the core, but we have also introduced what we, is an innovative direct fast charging, and also aided that with home charging solutions, as simple as charging your laptop at home. Thereby, and these are some learnings which I have picked up from different parts of Asia, where there is no silver bullet solution. You got to provide a mosaic of solutions, choices to the customer, because today as a customer switches from gasoline powered bikes to electric, the concern in their mind is, range anxiety. And will my battery have enough juice, even if I'm doing 150 to 200 kilometers a day? So thereby, by providing different types of charging and swap solutions, you're allaying those concerns which are there in the customer's mind, and therefore it's like a groundswell.
We touched on the kind of SDG part of this right at the top, and how, having heard a little bit more about Spiro, how would you say that Spiro aligns itself with those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
Let me give you a practical example. Today, a driver in Kenya or we are present in 6 countries today, 7 in fact, of which 4 are in the East cluster and 3 are in the West, including Nigeria, which is the largest market. Now, irrespective of whether the driver is in Benin, in West, or in Kenya, the driver is able to increase his livelihood, the income, by almost 2x. Yeah, and that's a substantial amount.
And that's just by swapping out
driving
the fossil fuel vehicle for
yes,
what you're riding.
Fuel savings, reduction in maintenance costs, by able to traverse longer distances, he is able to increase his income. That leads to a significant compounding impact on the consumption for him as well as for his family, right? That improves accessibility for his kids to go to schools, have a better quality of life. The quality of air will improve over a period of time. So the secondary and sort of second and third order derivatives by using an electric motorbike has got significant impact, right, on the whole economy. Not just that, you're creating more jobs. Just in Kenya, by operating our manufacturing facility, we have created over 200 full-time jobs. And these are high-quality jobs. And we are bringing state-of-the-art technology into the African markets. Thereby, there is a sort of diffusion of innovative technology. We have partnered with about 5 universities where we are building a talent funnel, engineering, STEM graduates essentially, and we are kind of helping them do the apprenticeship, at the same time absorbing them in our manufacturing line, in our supply chain, and our field sales and marketing. So thereby you're creating high value jobs.
So interesting, if you're taking that approach, this altruistic approach, you described the business very well, but this isn't just about bikes on the road, is it? You're essentially a technology company at your heart.
That's right. So Spiro is a technology platform where our goal, our vision is to enable all forms of mobility through clean energy infrastructure. Today, the segue to this is the electric motorbike segment, and specifically for the bike taxi segment, just because there was a immediate need to it. But then as we progress, we are already testing different products, those being 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers in different parts of Africa, to see what's the optimal product market fit, what are the sort of affordability contours, and how do we localize and build this out using the local infrastructure? How do we build local capabilities?
So all of this is generating, I'm assuming, a huge amount of data. How can you use that data to help further the sustainability goals? It's almost kind of closing the circle then, isn't it?
Great question. Let me give you a very practical example. As we build out this ecosystem, we have started partnering with asset financiers, banks which do vehicle financing. Now, in the legacy world, asset financing a gasoline bike would not have really the real-time traceability of the assets. Thereby, the risk premium or the financing rate would be higher. In some markets, it's as high as 60% annually. As Spiro has built out our own IoT hub, the IoTs are there in the vehicles, they're in the batteries. We are streaming all of this data into a private cloud, and from that raw data we have designed our own machine learning system which can synthesize and give real-time access analytics to the asset financiers in terms of the asset health, which means how the driver has even driven those bikes, how many kilometers is he driving, where is the exact geo coordinates of the bike or the batteries. So from an asset financier's standpoint, the perceived risk has gone down. And as a result of that, we are passing on the benefits of lower financing rates to the consumers. And that's a virtuous cycle, because then his cost of acquisition of that product has gone down by order of magnitude.
Wow. Kaushik Berman, CEO of Spiro, thank you so much for talking us through it. Such an exciting vision ahead. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Spiro's journey demonstrates a bold step towards a greener, and more sustainable Africa, aligning its environmental vision with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. By adopting innovative, eco-conscious solutions such as electric motorcycles and battery swap stations, along with its strategic partnerships, Spiro is setting a clear precedent within the transport and technology sectors across the continent, paving the way for an accessible, eco-friendly future across Africa.